All right, let's go back to Coral Gables. Let's see if we have Miami head coach Mario Cristobal now. MC, give me a thumbs up. Give me a solid yes if you can hear me.
Oh, you got a solid yes, man. I apologize about those technical difficulties. Not the best at that stuff.
Well, you're looking at someone who's walked you through setting up a Skype account before, so I know good and well what that's all
I
about.
got fingers like sausage links, man. Look at this.
What is I know you didn't sleep last night. I'm not asking you what time you woke up. I want to know though, from the time the rest of us woke up and the cock crowed this morning, what has today been like?
Oh, it's guzzle the right kind of coffee, Cuban coffee in particular. But this thing, you're never all the way in it. You're never all the way out of it. So you just keep going, and you really lean on the fact that you've been establishing relationships for a long time. As little as a few months to 3 and 4 years, sometimes even more. So you just want to make sure that it's real with everybody, because at the end of the day, when you finish off this class, right, this is like a monstrous step towards your goals as a football program. And you've got to be able to hit on all cylinders from a talent standpoint, work ethic standpoint, character standpoint. So you want to see all that hard work come to fruition. And, when the clock strikes midnight, right, you're ready for the next one. You kind of turn into a pumpkin and you keep rolling for the next one.
During this season, you didn't really shy away from how inferior the product was on the field relative to what your standard is. I enjoyed it because of the business I'm in. I think a lot of people were kind of taken by surprise that you were so blunt and you were so honest. And it was always, to me, spoken with one eye on the field, one eye on what I'm about to do in this signing class combined with the portal. So based on what you knew your needs were, how many boxes did you check with this class so far?
Well, we checked most of them, and honestly, I'm very grateful for past experiences, because they're almost all identical, all these rebuilds, right? And it starts with the roster, and we hit some home runs and trying to get some grand slams here, and we're not done yet. But we checked most of the boxes. We still have to, we're not done. We're not done. We're not satisfied with where it's at right now, but there's still some meat left on the bone out there in terms of the defensive tackle position, the outside wide receiver position, a couple more skill positions. There's some stuff out there. And again, the portal changes things, not to mention you have to have a deep board, because you've got to prepare for the next round of the transfer portal, right? This is a real thing now, and, decisions are made throughout the course of the year. And, it's hard to, tell sometimes, who's really thinking what. So with talent acquisition always comes roster assessment analysis 24/7, right? It's the most important thing that you can always do as a head coach, is always look to upgrade every facet of your program, starting with the roster.
In this era, you talked about the portal there. I can't talk about the portal without also talking about NIL, because they're kind of joined at the hip. I want to know, as a head coach, when you're down the home stretch in these recruitments, there was something different this cycle. We talked about the stat. We woke up this morning, 92% of the top 247 were already verbally committed somewhere. We've never seen a number that high. The best we could tell, it was having NIL involved, which kind of maybe gives you the freedom to 48 or 72 or 96 hours ahead of time say, I need a decision. I need to know right now. Did you experience any of that, or was it the same old for you?
It's been the same old, really. We've been fortunate enough to, over the course of several years, hang on to 95% of the class for the most part, and solidify those commitments, way in advance. We had some momentum down the stretch this past week. That certainly helped things. But obviously NIL is a factor now, especially at places where NIL is really a thing, and where the NIL programs are significantly better than in other places. And that's part of some of the things, but it's not the entire picture. So, all in all, the rules are changing, I feel like, all the time, right? Every single year. And our job is to adapt, play by the rules, and just continue to find ways to maximize your ability to develop, recruit, coach, all that good stuff, to make sure that your program is constantly taking steps towards its goals.
I got our guy Cooper Pategna over here. He don't really care about any of that. What he wants to know is how many of these guys are about to be on the field this coming fall? Because you got, by our estimation, a pretty loaded signing class here.
It's a loaded signing class. It really is. The guys that we targeted are Miami Hurricanes, and that's hard to do. And I had a chance to work with that guy there beside you for a little bit. That guy's unbelievable, the best in the business, and he'll tell you when you start like putting your crosshairs on certain targets, like, man, that's exactly what we're looking for. That's going to make a difference here. he can be a game changer right away in the locker room, on the field. And you end up landing those guys. Wow. I mean, that's a strong moment. You can't wait to get those guys on campus. You can't wait to get them on campus because you feel like the guys that we have that are part of this culture and growing this culture are going to do a great job mentoring these guys. Going to do a great job bringing them in and teaching them, how we do things and to accelerate their growth and development because they have to play. We're in a situation where, as a program, this class, the members of the class, whether they be transfers or incoming freshmen, they have to be significant contributors. And we made that very clear while we were recruiting them and making sure that you're going to have to earn that time. Just because you're a highly recruited guy doesn't mean that you are warranted, it's warranted that you're going to get playing time. You've got to earn it. And I think that's respected. I think transparency and honesty goes a long way, and it's led to a historic class for the University of Miami.
Mario Cristobal, Miami head coach. A busy day, not done. I know you still got irons in the fire. Go tend to him. We appreciate you taking some time to join us.
Appreciate you guys. Have a great day. Go Canes.
All right, so let me kick it back to not my words, his words, the best in the business. Did you know that about yourself, by the way?
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. No, man, but when it comes to him, and it's like the funny part, every opportunity to get in front of a camera, like today, it's all calculated. And I respect the hell out of him because he works his tail off. Like you asked that question, talking about NIL, how is it involved? This guy is the hardest worker that I've ever been around, bar none. But, to me, when he's telling you, hey, we got some skill guys that we're still looking at outside receiver. We still got a couple guys at defensive line. He's not talking to you. He's not talking to Miami's fan base. He's talking directly to those guys right in the camera looking at him and saying, I want you to come here to the University of Miami. So I think that's the type of recruiter he is. And listen, the foundation of what Miami wants to be, if you want to know what Mario Cristobal is trying to establish in Coral Gables, look no further than their offensive line. 2 of the 3 best tackles in the country, Francis Mauigoa from right there at IMG, and then Samson Okunlola up there in Massachusetts. I think 2 of the most, if not the most, traitiest tackles in the country. And the fact that you got a prototypical left tackle in Okunlola that allows you to put a guy like Mauigoa on the right side, and that's probably going to be his Sunday home. That's how good he is. We're already talking about him 3 to 4 years down the line. And then you got guys like Tommy Kinsler inside as well, Antonio Tripp, that they're really excited about. I think it all starts up front. He wants to get that offense and defensive line right because he knows that's the identity that he wants to build with his program. It's going to start up front.
Yeah.